Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave, episode 84. Today I'm going to be doing a game that I got sent to me from somebody on Facebook who actually reached out to me on YouTube, but I also was communicating him through Facebook, and that was Gregory. I did a video of his games that he sent me, and one of his favorite games that he told me was this one that he sent me was River Raid for the ColecoVision. And he suggested that maybe I could do a comparison video. And I thought this would be a good idea because I like River Raid. I have it on, like, I know at least three different systems. So I'm going to be comparing it with the Atari 2600 version. And this one's a classic. I mean, if you have an Atari 2600, you better have this game. It's like one of the better games you can play on that system. And unfortunately, I don't have it for the Intellivision, but I do have it for the Commodore 64. I used to play it a lot on the Commodore 64, actually. And I remember, though, when I was a kid, I didn't even realize that River Raid was on any other system. I didn't know. I only played it on the Commodore 64. I never had the chance to play it on an Atari. I didn't own one. And so when I got all my experience playing the game, it was through the Commodore 64. And eventually, of course, I picked up the Atari version. And again, I didn't realize it was ported onto all the other systems as well. I mean, I only had limited knowledge when I was a kid, and now that I've been looking into it, and I found out there's actually an Intellivision version, which I didn't even know up until not too long ago. Unfortunately, it's a little bit more pricier than these two, I believe. I used to have River Raid 2, and that was like a birthday gift. I remember probably sometime in the 90s. My friend, he gave me. What did he get? He gave me Joust and River Raid 2 as a birthday gift, and that was cool. And I kept them both in the original packaging and everything. Unfortunately, and I've probably mentioned this before, during one of my moves, when you're moving from one house, you're packing all your stuff into boxes and going to another house. I lost 2 boxes, and I think it was 2 boxes, and that had all my boxed games in it. So it had my Keystone Capers, it had Taz, it had River Raid 2, all my Atari games that were in the original box, gone. And all my ColecoVision as well. I had a bunch of ColecoVision games in a box, in the boxes, all gone. So, still kind of depressed about that, but now I have a chance to try and get them all back again. Anyways, yeah, so I'm going to be doing a comparison, and just to take a look at, how these games fare up on each system, and see how the Commodore 64 compares to the ColecoVision, compares to the Atari. So let's pop these in and give them a try. Okay, so we're going to start off the first one with Atari River Raid. So I've kind of talked about this video or this game a bit in another video, but I mean, I really like this game. I really like the graphics on it, and for an Atari game, it's actually pretty decent. It's one of the more popular ones. I think a lot of people really love River Raid. So let's give it a shot. Just gonna hit the reset button here. And yeah. And the object is really just to survive and blow up as much stuff as possible. And you get fuel and stuff by running over those fuel markers. Navigating your little plane there is what makes it difficult. Whoa! Because you got these narrow waterways that you have to kind of go through. And the graphics are quite simple, but they look nice. I mean, the programmer who did this game really did a good job. I mean, just pushing the Atari to its limits on this one. Compared to some other Atari games where the graphics you can't make out what they are. I mean, you could tell that that's a ship. I'm playing horrible. You can tell that that's, helicopter. You can make all the stuff out. It looks cool. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Okay. Getting my butt kicked. Let's try that one more time, shall we? Obviously, the faster you go, the better you're going to do. you got the two speeds really. You can go really slow and just take your time. Keep hitting the fuel things, which is not a good idea. Oh, that plane just came out of nowhere. I know I've made it so far in this game where I've, not sure how many bridges I've gone. I don't actually count them, which I probably should sometime. Actually count the bridges I go through. It'd be kind of nice if they had a little counter at the bottom saying that. You get so focused on the game, you're not, like, counting things. At least I'm not. Whoa. And then it starts getting really narrow like this. You gotta pick your path and stick to it. And it's... yeah, there's all the fuel. Take the wrong path, you don't get the fuel. And as you advance the bridges, you get more and more stuff flying at you. More stuff to hit. Fuel's a big thing though. You gotta watch your fuel. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Try not to shoot them, like I keep doing that. Sound effects are great too. Whoop. Sound effects are pretty good. It's got that standard Atari sound to it. That shuttle sounding... I don't know what that sound is. Pretty much every game that involves a jet or something that flies is going to make that sound. But, it's the Atari sound chip. It was very limited to what it can do. Oh. I think this is my last guy. Oh. Close enough. Okay, so we got River Raid by Activision. Now, the one thing I noticed here is we didn't get our typical ColecoVision screen, which is cool. I didn't have to sit there and wait for it. And I don't have to do that blue screen either. I can just start the game and pick my difficulty. And there we go. So, yeah, so the layout looks a little different. Have a nice black plane there. The detail's pretty good. You make out those ships. I mean, ultimately it plays similar to the Atari, so that's cool. Got a little tank there on the side. Wonder if he'll shoot at me at some point. I like the layout of this. It's kind of nice. It's kind of wide open. Doesn't feel as restricting as the Atari's version. Got a lot of stuff out there on the balloons and stuff. Lots of different things. Whoa. Guess I'm not going fast enough here. Yeah, I'm curious to see if those tanks are going to shoot at me or something. Maybe in the more difficult levels. Otherwise, what are they there for? Just for decoration? Maybe. I don't know. Whoa. I mean, the graphics and sound are great. It's actually a really good version of River Raid. And much like the Atari, and I think every one of them, you can't go over the landscape. Which I always wondered why, because this is an airplane, right? I think it's an airplane. It looks like an airplane. I guess you're like really, really close to the river or whatever. I don't know. Why can't you? Well, that was neat. There's like a white flying plane going by there. Let's start shooting everything. You have to be careful you don't keep shooting your own fuel. Something happened there. Whoa. If I hold down the button, I just go into this rapid fire mode. Oh, that was bad. Problem with rapid fire is you'll end up shooting your fuel. You don't want to do that. Sometimes you need them. Whoa! I just got shot by that tank. Had a feeling that was going to happen at some point. Okay, so now we're loading up River Raid for the Commodore 64. Always have to wait when you want to play your Commodore games, unless you have cartridges, which I only have now. Well, the Peanut Butter Panic that I got sent to me by Arcade USA's Willie. That was cool. Did a little thing on that. But other than that, I don't really have many other cartridges. I think I might have my Dance Fantasy cartridge that I've had a long time ago, from a long time. I don't know where it is. Okay, so we got River Raid. Okay, so now it's started up. So let's choose our game. And F1. There we go. Now we got a blue plane. Whoa. I mean, it is feeling a little bit more like the ColecoVision version. Actually kind of looks like it, except for that the river itself has that kind of blue lining, and we got those mountains. Got the balloons back, those air balloons. Sounds a little bit, it's okay. I mean, it's almost matching the Atari, I would think. Almost. Funny how each version the plane is different. The Atari was yellow and ColecoVision was black, and now Commodore 64 is blue. Oh, I just blew the tank off the bridge. That was fun. This game seems a little bit easier than the other two. I don't know why. Whoa! He just blew me up. But this one actually tells you which bridge you're past and stuff. Which is cool. Oh. And I just got nuked by a tank. These tanks are annoying. It says here I'm on bridge 9. Running out of lives. Ah. Ugh. Just ran into that guy again. Let's try a different level. Let's see here. Game 2, 3, 5. Let's go nuts. Let's go to the 8. The highest one we can do. Bridge 50. This should be fun. And oh my goodness. That is not easy. Oh, did I do a two-player game? Oh. Oh, I can't even get through there. You gotta be the real master. I guess I'm on 2 players because it wants me to play with this yellow plane all of a sudden. So I'll just keep resetting. Whoa, shooting helicopters. That's how crazy this game gets. Crazy shooting helicopters. Man, there's stuff everywhere. You gotta literally, like, fire at everything in front of you. Oh. Okay, so, yeah, I'm on the fence about which one I liked more, and I actually felt like they all played very, very similar, and that's unusual, because there's usually one that's not as good as the other, or one that pales in comparison, or, you know, all that stuff. But I'd say, as far as sound, graphics, gameplay, it was all great. I mean, And the fact is, with the because I was using the Commodore, I got to use my Atari joystick, so I got the same experience pretty much with the Atari and the Commodore. But you know, with the Coleco, I had to use the Coleco controllers. It's the only one I have is the the classic Coleco controller that they came with, so I just have to use that one. But I mean, I didn't find it very difficult. I mean, I felt that navigating through the river in the Coleco version was actually pretty easy. It felt more open space. Maybe it starts to close up a little bit more as you go through a billion bridges and stuff, and you know, you saw the complexity as I was going through further and further and further. More crap was coming at me. You got those air balloons. You got the ships that are flying at you. You got tanks shooting you from the bridge. I mean, the level of complexity just goes up and up and up. I don't know how far I've ever made it on any one of these games. I mean, even on the Commodore 64, I used to play it a lot, and I don't even remember how far I would get. Like I said, I didn't really count the bridges, and what's neat is, so I guess the Commodore 64 had that little counter to tell you how many bridges. I don't recall it doing that on the Coleco one, though, and I definitely didn't see it on the Atari one. So you kind of got to keep a mental note. You're like, you know, bridge 3, bridge 4. But when you're playing these games and you're like concentrating on the game itself, you're focusing on not getting killed. It's not easy to sit there and count bridges every time, and you know, unless you have a friend sitting there penciling it away, which would be kind of dumb. But yeah, I mean, I like these games. I like River Raid. It's always a classic. It's one of these must-have games. It was cool getting it on the ColecoVision. I'm glad I can add this to my collection. I mean, I don't have a very big ColecoVision collection, but and, you know, I don't pull the Coleco out too often because it is a little bit more fragile, I'd say, than my other systems. It seems to always give me a little bit of a hard time to get these games to work. And I showed that to you when I did my, what was it, the Smurfs? No, it was the Mousetrap. I couldn't get the Mousetrap to work properly, and I ended up playing a glitchy game, which kind of sucked. This one actually worked. I was glad. I mean, it glitched up on me when I first plugged it in and tried it. I cleaned it up, put it in, and it worked. So I was okay with River Raid, but, you know, I guess each game is going to be different. Anyways, I hope you liked the video. I'd like to know what you think of River Raid. I know it's a lot of classic gamers' favorites. So, you know, let me know what you think, and hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.